You want to do that. That. See two victims. Do I see two victims? Hello, Joe. How are you doing today? That's the name of the character in the book I'm listening to right now. Joe Bishop. He's in charge of the Valkyries, about to go kick some kitty's ass. The kitties are about to get a big old can of whoop ass. Oh, pretty good. Hopefully the internet stays working today because we're getting thunder showers all week, and the rain seems to wreak havoc with the internet here. Probably because we get so little rain that when things get soaking wet, they tend to behave badly. Last week it was out until Thursday morning. That was annoying. It very rarely goes down, but it always seems to be on a Wednesday. It's like, what the hell is up with that? Maybe the planets align every Wednesday, and I think things get baked by the sun. They get very dry. Um, my guess would be seals and sealants, lubricants, and greases and stuff like that get really dried out in our ultra dry weather here, so that when it does finally rain, the normally you'd see signal degradation and stuff like that as components wore out, but because it's so dry here, even massively worn out seals don't cause a problem until it rains. And then it's like the floodgates open and things fail, and I suspect that's probably what does it. I probably have outages on other days and just don't notice it. My phone's starting to go bad. The battery's starting to puff up. Of course, it's out of warranty, and they want $400 to replace the battery. So basically, they don't offer a battery replacement because, of course, the next message says you can just get a used one on, we're selling a refurb one on eBay for $400. Oh, that's why the battery costs $400 because you don't want to do it at all. Oh man, what are you gonna do? AGM, a Chinese brand. It's one of the few decent ones. It's got a 6.5-inch screen. It's got a 3.5-watt speaker, which is amazing. It's got a built-in flashlight, plus the flash in the back. But the big thing is it's got a night imaging camera, an infrared camera, and it has a thermal camera, so it can actually take FLIR style thermal images. I'll show you. It's pretty cool. I actually get a lot of use out of it, and it's one of the few of the Chinese brand phones that has a Snapdragon processor, so it's not slow. See? You're obviously not going to see that very well because of the bright light in the room here, but it's got a thermal camera. But yeah, 256 gigs of space, 8 gigs of RAM, 48 megapixel camera, macro camera, infrared camera, and a thermal camera. It's got wireless charging, but it's not that useful because the big bump from the speaker pushes it away, which makes it hard to line it up for wireless charging. And I can get a battery for $30. The problem is taking this apart. I don't even see an ingress path. If I had to guess, the screen has to come off in order to replace the battery. And I suspect I would probably break the screen getting it off. Yay! I know. Not yet. Replacement batteries are available, although I have not looked hard yet. I just started looking last night. I don't know if anybody's actually taken one apart yet. I'm still looking to see if there's a video or something like where somebody's taking one apart. It's probably something wrong. I have to pay $150 to send it off to a professional company that does that. So there'll be some kind of warranty if they break it. But yeah, it's actually pushing hard enough that I'm starting to see the teeniest bit of a bulge on the front here. Could be my imagination, but I'm definitely seeing the bulge back here. This is supposed to be flat. It's not planned obsolescence. This is one of the few phones where I give them a small pass on doing this. I don't like non-replaceable batteries. It really pisses me off. Because a battery is a wear item. Unless they're using lithium iron phosphate, a battery is a wear item. However, this is one of the few kinds of devices where I give them I'm not happy about it pass on the replaceable battery issue. And that's because it's a rugged phone. The whole point of this phone is that it's ruggedized. There's no case on this phone. That is the phone. And, I've dropped this phone plenty of times from 6 feet up, and it didn't care. And the nature of a ruggedized phone is it needs to be sealed. This phone is good down to negative 20 Celsius. It's not so much planned obsolescence as it's the cheapest way to do it. Designing a proper shell to have proper weather seals with a replaceable battery will make the phone larger, will make the battery smaller, and will make the phone substantially more expensive. This $800 phone might be a $1,200 phone if they had to design it to be replaceable, and the phone would be larger and the battery would be smaller. There's just no way around that, because to have a replaceable battery, your battery now has to have a shell, and you now have to have a socket, and you now have to have a frame. You know, imagine how much stronger a car would be if it didn't have to have doors. The very nature of having to have a door to open the car means you have to add a lot of mass everywhere else to reinforce that frame. Now for regular phones, you know, phones like this, no, I disagree with not having replaceable batteries. That's bullshit. Phones like that get a, I'm not happy about it, but they get a slight pass. What I am pissed about is that they continue using lithium-ion batteries. It's got a 6,200 milliamp battery. Okay, so give me a 5,000 milliamp battery and make it lithium iron phosphate. This way the battery's good for 10 or 15 years. You know, instead of the lithium ion batteries, which are only good for 3 to 5 years. Now, this is bad luck that mine went bad just after warranty. Most lithium ion batteries, especially a battery that big, are going to last 5 to 8 years. And 99% of the population, hey Matt, 99% of the population is not going to keep a phone that long. You know, I'm one of those weirdos that as long as the phone still functions, I'm going to keep it. Especially with Android getting, Apple's been doing this for a long time, but Android's starting to do it now. Partially for understandable reasons, partially not for understandable reasons, where they are starting to effectively deactivate older versions of the software. So there are now apps that you can get that they will not run on a version of Android that's too old. So for example, the Amazon Shopper panel will not run on anything older than Android 10. So if you have an Android 9 device, it won't work. And I believe if you have something older than Android 7, you can't even run the Play Store. Won't run. And part of the reason for that is those older systems are compromised and they are not being updated. And that annoys me. That's not so much, we haven't gotten to the stage of planned obsolescence in that regard so much as laziness, where they just keep cranking out updates. It's annoying. It's very, very annoying. But, hey Ben. Yeah, I asked them. They said it's out of warranty, but we can repair it for you. I was like, yeah, how much? They said $400. I was like, really? So basically, you don't have a battery repair service. He's like, well, of course. And I was like, no, you don't. You don't have a battery repair service because I can replace the phone for $400. That's not called a battery repair service. That's called replace the phone. I can't even cut open the back to gain access to the battery because down here is a critical component that I use a lot, and that's the pogo pins for the dock. I can stick it in a dock this way I don't have to wear out the USB port on the bottom. So, you know, there's your USB and your headphone jack in the waterproof socket there. Nice! Marion, Texas. Where is that? Wait, weren't you in Oregon? Oh, that's an itty bitty town. That might be smaller than Edgewood. Yeah, it is smaller than Edgewood. Wow, where's that near? Okay, you're in a bigger area. Okay, so you're northeast of San Antonio. I really wish I can go to the World Championships for FAI in the beginning of July. It's in Austin, Texas. But I just can't. I can't. Unless I can afford to rent a car, I can't afford that trip. I can't take the chance that if something, FAI is Federation Aeronautical Internationale. FAI is like the world organization that handles competition aviation, for model aviation. And ew. Um, they handle all the world competition for model aviation, including rocketry. And every year there's a championships where countries send teams to all compete in rocketry. Usually it's in one of the bloc countries, Yugoslavia, Czechoslovakia, something like that. Usually it's over there in the Eastern Europe area. And of course, that's, you're talking about $10,000 trip. I can never afford to go to one of those. Well, for the first time since 1980, when it was held in New Jersey, of all places, the FAI champs are now going to be held in Austin, Texas. I think Austin, Texas. We'll find out. That's not bad. Yeah. Yeah, Austin, Texas. And the problem is the risk factor is so high. The you know, if my car breaks down going to Narum in, Lordsburg, New Mexico, that's 300 miles from home. I can pay a company $100, $150 to tow me 100 miles, and then I'm within 200 miles of home. I can call AAA. I can get a 200-mile tow, and AAA will tow me home. If I go to Austin, I can't do that, because Austin is we're talking about 700 miles. Can I rent a car? Sure. Can I afford it? No. um, I can't afford it. That's the problem. Um, Although the prices are starting to come down now, rental cars are still kind of crazy right now. And of course, I'd have to rent a car for out of state travel. The only comp might be, I actually didn't think of that. I might want to see what it costs to rent a car out of Amarillo. If I drive my car to Amarillo and then rent a car there, now I'm in state. I don't have to leave the state. I'll be in Texas. And I'll be staying in Texas. Because most car rental companies don't like it when you leave the state. Um, but the the risk factor is so high. I'm 400 miles outside of my AAA range if I go to Austin. That's not bad, actually. My U-Haul truck, when I was looking at getting a U-Haul was like $5,700. Penske was the cheapest at $4,500. Now that was including insurance and tax and all that stuff, but still $4,500, and you only had it for 12 days. So $200 ain't bad. But you were in oh, you were in Texas already. Okay, so you just moved from Texas to Texas. Okay. And, that's why I got the school bus. It was actually $2,000 cheaper, and I get to keep it. um, if my car breaks down in Texas, and it's not something cheap like brake pads or an alternator or something like that, I could lose the car and everything in it. I mean, I would be in a financial position where I would have to abandon the car in Texas, you know, like literally abandon it, sell it to a scrapyard, um, and then buy myself a bus ticket and whatever I could carry in my hands to go home. I mean, if that would even work. I mean, the risk if that car breaks down while I'm out of range of AAA is just extraordinary. Really? Wow, I assume you don't have the school bus anymore. You would have used that to move. Traded a computer for a school bus. That must have been a very long time ago. Why in the world would you move from Albuquerque to Maine? The only reason I could see that is job or family. Unless, you know, like me wanting to move to the desert, you wanted to move to someplace like Maine. 'Cause it is beautiful in Maine. That whole northeast area of the country, it's cold as fuck in the wintertime, but God, is it beautiful. It's a beautiful part of the country. Makes sense. If you didn't have a car, you would obviously need a car. But that had to be, what, 70s? Because for a computer to be worth enough for a bus, it would have had to have been pretty early in the computer days when they were very valuable. Or 80s. I don't know. No, wait a minute. Computers. DOS computers, yeah, were 90s. You know, before the 90s, it was microcomputers. It wasn't what we would think of today as computers. Um, so yeah, it would have had to have been in the 90s. Back when a computer was $4,500. um, like a 486 was thousands of dollars. Hmm. Yeah, 80s would have been microcomputers. It wasn't until the 90s when we started getting things like DOS computers and the what we would call a modern computer. That ran a generic operating system instead of running custom. Before that, everything was custom. Every computer had its own custom, basic or whatever it was running. Still can't believe I left my Vectrix in Pennsylvania. I miss my Vectrix. I even put it aside to make sure I brought it and forgot it. I just never opened that closet door again, and I totally forgot it. Hmm. Wow. Yeah, but my history isn't flawed. I just wasn't clear. The '90s was when PCs became a thing, where it became a consumer item. Previous to that, anything computer related was either business oriented, military oriented, or very hobbyist oriented. It wasn't until the 90s that PCs became affordable enough that average Joe could potentially possibly think about affording one. In the 80s, buying a PC was something rich people did. Very rich people. When did DOS come out? 1981. So MS-DOS. It was closed source at the time? Huh. So August 12th, 1981. And the final release of MS-DOS was September 14th, year 2000. I didn't know it was that late. Hmm. I had a whole bunch of trash 80s. Nobody wanted one. I had a color trash 80, the black and white one. I also had the mini PC version. You know, the built-in screen, the built-in flop drives, and the plastic shell. And I had a Mattel Aquarius. I had a couple of old Ataris, and oh, what was that other brand? They did a lot of graphics work. Silicon Graphic, SGI. It might have been SGI. I had a few SGI machines. Um, I liked Warp. I thought Warp was awesome. Amiga, that's it. Amiga. Um, I liked Warp. Warp was awesome. Why did she have to get a PC back in 1983? What was she doing that she needed one? I mean, that's pretty awesome, but I'm curious what she was doing that she needed one. Am I off by an entire decade? I am. I'm off by an entire 90s was the decade of the Pentium. 90s was when Windows. I'm off. I am off by one entire decade. Okay, 80s was PC. 90s was Pentium and Windows. I'm completely. I'm off by a full 10 years. You're right, because we got our first Windows PC in the early 90s, and I was playing with Trash 80s and Vic 20s and stuff like that in the 80s. So yeah, I'm off by an entire decade. 90s was Pentium and Windows. 80s was DOS and PC. Yeah, the first 486 was introduced in 1989. Oh yeah. And then the very satisfying peeling the edges of the paper off. Yeah, now technically Windows came out. Hey DeWitt, technically Windows came out in the 80s, the late 80s, but the reality is Windows didn't really come out until the 90s. Windows 3.0 was released in 1990. Nobody really, well, no average person really used it before then. It didn't take off. It didn't explode until Windows 3 came out. And yeah, about mid 1980s. I could probably find that out. 1985. First introduced 1985. So probably released 1986. What address are you sending it to? Do not send it to my PO box. I don't have that anymore. Do you have my actual address? I love getting goodies. Oh, good. Okay, good. Yeah, they literally doubled the price of the PO boxes here from $60 a year to $120 a year, and I was like, okay, that's it. Apparently, the postal service has a rule, a non-compete rule, where the USPS is not allowed to, except for basic mail service, but secondary services like well, it's actually a. I have mixed feelings about it. The I agree with the concept. I just don't agree with the execution. Because the USPS is a government organization, it would have an unfair advantage to manipulate the marketplace. And one of the rules the USPS has is that they are not allowed to offer a secondary service for less than whatever surrounding businesses are offering. So because a place opened up that offers mailboxes and they charge $120 a year, USPS has to also charge $120 a year. They're not allowed to undercut a local business. So if a local business starts offering mailboxes, USPS is not allowed to charge less than whatever they're charging. So it's a non-compete thing where the idea is that the USPS can't put somebody out of business. And while that concept is a good one, and I agree with the concept, the execution's kind of crap. Because that means a local business can basically charge whatever they want, and USPS has no choice but to and then USPS has no choice but to charge the same price. I could get a PO box in Moriarty or Tijeras for the same $60, but then I have to drive, 12 miles to go to the PO box, and that would kind of defeat the point. I don't got an email from you. Did it get stuck in spam? Nope. Slow electrons. Yeah, that's my address. But I have not gotten it yet. What address did you use? What at Nerisse.com? Sometimes my forwarder box does not forward messages right away, which is really annoying when it does that. Yeah, that should work fine. Nope, I got nothing from you. You have a space after Nerisse and .com. That won't work. You have at NerisseSpace.com. I'm pretty sure that'll fail. Oh, it might be because of the way YouTube is highlighting messages. Like it highlights the at Nerisse in orange. So maybe that adds a space that doesn't actually exist. Yeah, I just highlighted. There's no spaces. It looks like a space, but there isn't a space. It's just the way YouTube puts a orange box around the at Nerisse. It thinks you're trying to tag a person. The it'll probably come in eventually. That's weird. Email is usually instantaneous. Well, here, I'll show you. See? See how it puts the orange highlight around it? Makes it look like there's a space there, even though there isn't. That's good. So what made everything better? Well, the nice thing is by living near Austin, you have access to much better medical facilities, that's for sure. Not Austin, San Antonio. By living near San Antonio, Dallas, Fort Worth, all that stuff, you should have much better access to medical facilities. Oh, good. Of course, you do live in a humid part of Texas. I'm guessing it's pretty humid there. There it goes. It literally just came in. Yes, that's the correct address. The rockets are coming along great. I got a couple more test flights. I'm waiting for a couple of more reflights. The one test flight resulted in destruction, but it was user error. He used a elastic cord for the shock cord, so when the nose cone came off, it stretched out the cord and whack smacked the nose cone back into the rocket. So that was user error. You never use elastic on a big rocket. That's bad. Turns the nose cone into a slingshot. Yeah, it's first of all, the this is the, I'm calling it curvy baby because it's got the a ring fin. This came out absolutely amazing. I freaking this filament is so good. This is all PETG, so it won't melt in the car. This is rose metallic, and this is blood diamond red from the red is actually a more of a ruby color than what you're seeing right there. The color is not represented correctly on the screen here. My camera is making that red look a little more orange, but in real life that red is more of a ruby with a gold iridescence. That's blood diamond red and rose metallic mist. Absolutely stunning colors. So that's going to be the curvy baby. I'm thrilled with how this came out. It came out absolutely spectacular. And then I haven't got a name for this one yet. This is a downscale of the big giant one that I took to Rocky Mountain Murph. Same rocket, just scaled down to 60 millimeter. And I haven't printed a nose cone for it yet, so we'll stick that one on there. But yeah, that came out real nice. That's a 1/4 inch launch lug, so it's actually pretty tough. This is only like a 300 gram rocket. This is only, as you can see, it's only 60 millimeters, so it doesn't need rails. This is going to probably be my I'm probably going to use this fin can when I make my 6-foot rocket. You know, I want to make a 6 or 7 foot kit just for shiggles because I can. So it's probably going to use this fin can to make sure it's nice and stable. But yeah, that printed out real nicely. I finally figured out the spacing for the ribs so I don't get that waviness in my PETG prints. So the fins are nice, clean, and straight. Any new test video? Oh, flight videos. No. I'm waiting for them to send me some. Oh, the one guy I think has video. He's going to send me some video. I'm waiting for him to. Goddamn son of a bitch. Stop messing with me. I did the dragon in the silk PLA, the dual color silk. That came out really cool. I also did I redid the dragon for, not the dragon, the hammer for the 60 millimeter tube. What I did is I oversized the fins for the 60 millimeter size, and I like it a lot. Of course, the nose cone's gone. It's back there somewhere. You're not going to see the nose cone. It popped off when I pulled it, and it's back there somewhere. But that came out real nice. This is a transition roll of PETG that's transitions between white and pink, and that really came out nice. I am very pleased with that. But yeah, nice oversized fins. The only bad part is I have to print this one this way, which makes it hard to transition. Rose and gold co-extrusion, nice. Let's see. I made a simple rocket. I thought it was kind of neat. It has these beefy, triangular, classic, 50s, 60s sci-fi fins. I thought that was kind of cool. I'm calling it wedge factor. But, it's all the same, modular construction. The nose cone's printing right now in the back. Where'd that nose cone go? There it is. I can stick any nose cone on it so you can see it. That's the nice thing about making them all modular, is I can put them again. Ooh, that actually looks pretty good with a red nose cone. Ooh, it's gonna have a silver nose cone, but that actually looks kind of nice. I'm hoping I can make this fly like this with just 3 pieces, but I think it's gonna require a 4th piece to, make it about that long in order to avoid having to add nose weight. Absolutely send me a picture. I just got another roll. I got a 3-color roll of King Rune. It was $15. I was like, hell yeah. I posted a link for you guys. This one is red, blue, green. So I'll be printing something with that. But that this is Filamentum Rapunzel Silver and Atomic Filament Blood Diamond Red. But that came out real nice. I like how... Oh, I think I figured out a way to make these fins where both sides look like this instead of one side looking like this. It's hard to do with regular fins, but I think I can do it with these fins. And the way I do it is that I create a profile of the fin and then I shift it 0.8 degrees. What I can do is I can mirror that 180 degrees, and instead of having, the fin come up one side and then come down the other side and go over, 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 instead I can have a line come up the middle and go back and forth to make the ribs. In theory, I can make the ribs, the path internal, so that the outside will be nice smooth skin like this without having this. So on the thicker fins like this, I think I can do that. I'm going to experiment with that and see how that works. Damn it, son of a bitch! Oh, that was where it created some art when it separated from the bed. Then I'm also working on a version of the Blue Origin New Shepherd. So that's going to be the Blue Origin New Shepherd. So that will be interesting. This is pretty close to scale, except of course I oversized the fins by quite a bit. They're about 3 times larger than they should be. But I'm hoping that I'll be able to make this fly like this. I might have to stretch it a little bit to make it stable, but I'm hoping the big fins will be enough that I won't have to mess with the design too much or add too much weight. The nose is going to be pretty heavy. I'm actually going to attach it with a magnet, and then there's going to be another magnet in here, so that when the ejection charge fires, this will pop off, and then they'll both come down onto separate parachutes, like it actually does. So that'll be fun. And then, I printed a Wreath. First I printed a gigantic. I'm going to show you a couple of rockets first, because they're covering it right now. This one is fun. This is inspired by the Vortex rocket I found on Thingiverse, except I made my own version of it. This is called the Twister. So this thing is going to spin like a bitch. I mean, that's going to really spin when that thing flies. So that's going to be a fun rocket. I was really pleased with how nice and strong they came out. Really nice stiff fins. So that came out really sweet. I'm pleased with that. Then I have my groove tube. This was using a transition roll of purple blue PETG, which came out really nice. I am very, very happy with that. I would like to find a way to stiffen these up. At this scale, I don't have to. It's okay for them to be a little flexible like this. I mean, that's okay at this scale. But if I want to make this bigger, those need to be a little stiffer. Maybe put some pinstripes on it. Yeah. But that came out really nice. I'm very happy with that. And this is all PETG, so I don't have to worry about temperature. I am going to make a PLA wood rocket because I have 2 different color wood filaments. So I want to make something wood grained. Are you going to keep messing with me? A guy named Bugman140 made a candy cane Christmas wreath, and I really like the design, but his design, I felt it could be improved. First of all, I wanted to be able to print it with no infill, so I could take advantage of translucent, transparent filaments to put lights inside. And I also wanted to reduce the plastic consumption, especially because I like to print big. So I heavily modified his design to allow me to print it with no infill and no support. And I came up with this. So that's my modified version of it. I also got rid of the need for his 10th piece with a link. I just print 10 of these. But that came out real nice, so I'm going to be printing. This is using the Rose Metallic Mist and the Blood Diamond Red from Atomic Filament. This is all PETG. So I'll be able to start making my own custom wreaths for my house. But the idea now is I could put string lights through these holes inside here and wrap it around so I can make this light up. I think that'd be really nice. And of course, the whole reason I did that is because I wanted to make a big one. So this is still a work in progress because it likes to fall apart, and I don't want to glue it together. I'm trying to figure out a way to keep it modular, but have a way of securing it. I think it might be, I might go caveman on this and go real simple. Binder clips. That might be enough to hold it together, because I want to be able to print pieces in different colors and then put together a wreath for different holidays. So mix and match colors for different holidays, different events. So, you know, like a white and red one for Christmas, a gold and silver one for um, New Year's, you know, a red, white, and blue one for Independence Day. You know, really mix and match colors for different holidays throughout the year. But I wanted to make it big while still consuming less than a kilogram of plastic to make each part. And I got it down to 75 grams per part at 200% scale, which means a half a kilogram per color if you do 2 colors. And you get this. It's a big boy. How big is this? Do I have a tape measure handy? No, I don't. Where is that stinking tape measure? I had one here. I don't know what I did with it. But that came out really nice. But it comes apart really easy. If I shake this, it'll fall apart. You know, it's got the links and stuff, but they are a little on the loose side. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to put a hole on each side here, so I can put a binder clip on there, and that binder clip will grip and hold it together. Yes, this is printed in 10 pieces. So I printed 5 of these, and I printed 5 of these. This is all printed on the Mingda X2 Magician. This machine is still kicking ass. I've been running this machine. I've been beating the living piss out of it, just running it 24/7. And so far it's a trooper. It's just holding up. It's not giving up. But isn't that nice? Didn't that come out freaking cool? It's almost as wide as my door. That was the idea. I wanted it to be big. And, very, very pleased with how it came out. I think I actually am going to do that. What I'm going to do is I want to put a wedge, half a wedge, on each side of those pieces, and you know, flat on the bottom, so that I can take a bookbinder clip, and the bookbinder clip will engage the wedge. That'll not only keep it from sliding off, but it'll actually hold it tighter. So I'm going to design a wedge into that so that I can use bookbinder clips to hold it together. Actually, I'm just gonna make a screw you. That's all. I'm gonna make a rocket. The name is gonna be Screw You, and the rocket's going to be a big screw. Yeah, I'm gonna find basically a self-tapping like wood screw, and I'm just gonna scale it up huge, and then put those twister fins on it, And I'm gonna make a big giant screw rocket. Yeah, already thought of that. Oh God. Now, how do you find a message from somebody? Oh, wait a minute. Did you send it as a message? No. I guess it'll show up eventually. Um, yeah, I figured that, but how do I find it though? Like, if somebody tags me, how do I find that message? I don't know how to do that. About friends, check-ins, more video. Oh, here we go. If I go to my profile, it shows up as the first one. Oh wow, that's beautiful. I wouldn't be surprised if you got the same filament I have, because that's what I have, rose and gold. That's what this is. This is that rose gold. So it looks exactly like that. How, you have the same banding problem too. I have that same problem where it doesn't always line up properly, the colors. And I suspect it's the gears, the drive gears in the feeder, twisting the filament as it comes through. I haven't figured out how to get rid of that. Come on, stop messing with me. I mean, why do you have to mess with me? Yeah, it's probably is the same filament, but that's gorgeous. I love that. Oh, now there's a I thought it was Fliss kits, but I can't find it on their site. So either they're not remaking it, or it's from a different company. It was a rocket that used. It was a cone rocket. So instead of fins, it had a cone, and it had a double set of cones that locked together. And that was how the rocket flew. It was called the Deep Penetrator, or the Planetary Penetrator, or the Planetary Sampler, or something like that. I can't remember what it was called, but I want one, and so I designed one and I printed it. And that's this. And that's exactly what it looked like too, the paper one. Except of course mine's 3D printed. And I also made it so that the launch lug goes straight through the cone. So there's actually two launch lugs on the body tube in here, so that I don't apply a lot of stress to the cones. And the two cones they are actually designed to interface. They don't lock, of course, but they interface, and then you glue it together. Um, but yeah, that came out real nice. I'm very happy with that. I've got to print two more body sections. Actually, yeah, one more body section plus a nose cone. The next body segment's printing right now, but that came out really nice. I'm really, really happy with how that came out. Well, now I know I can make a conical shape at least this deep. The question is, how deep can I go before it stops working? Because, of course, I want to make a flying saucer. So I'm going to have to play around with that. I love that I can use that I was able to make a perfect fit around my 60mm tube. So now I can use a short piece of this tube and use my standard motor mount, and it will just thread into there. This will, of course, accept all of my standard parts will thread into there. But that's going to be really nice when it's done. I am super, super happy with this. This came out really nice. I got a really good deal on some tubes. They were discontinuing some tubes, so I got some different bits of tubing. I'm pretty sure that's Micromax size. I believe that's 24 millimeter. I still have to confirm that. And this should be 38 millimeter, but it's really heavy. This is a really thick 38 millimeter tube. I wasn't expecting it to be that thick. And whatever I dropped is gone. What is this? Oh, these are wire connectors. Nice. Really happy with how that came out. And then another person on Facebook, the 3D printed rocketry Facebook group, posted a curved fin rocket. And I was like, ooh, I have to make one of those. So I did. So this rocket has curvy fins. It's not designed to spin. It's just designed to look cool. But I really like how that came out. Nice and strong. Has a decent amount of flex. So I'm hoping that it won't break on landing. But that came out really nice. I'm very, very happy how smooth that came out. But that's a nice little... I'm happy with that one. I haven't figured out what to call this one yet. You guys think of a name? Let me know. I haven't thought of a name for that yet. Basically, this is just a cylinder, and then I just cut it off like that, and cut off half the cylinder, and then you end up with this. But that came out really nice. But and then I have a Let's Twist Again. That's interesting. The only thing is, my first thought is when I think of Let's Twist Again is, okay, where's the first one? I have to think about that. And I'm also working on a set of square tubes. So that will be this one here. Oh, wrong one. I guess I have to make a new display. Add video capture display. No. Add display capture. I think that's it. Yeah, there it is. Okay, let's shrink it down to fit. There we go. So that is the I'm calling it B square. And so that's a full set of components to vase mode print a square tubing tube fin rocket. The launch lug will actually come up through here and then also through here on the second piece, so that it'll have, it even has square launch lugs. The only round part of the rocket is the screw part for the motor here. Although I just realized I need to change this. Yeah, this has to change. Yep, we can't have that. It's got to be... Why'd you do that? I want you to grab just this. It's got to be a square. Right? Why would you do that? I hate when it does crap like that. Yeah, it's got to be square. It's kind of silly if it's not a square, right? There we go. That's the right way to do it. No circles, just squares. This is the shoulder to go into this nose cone here. So this will glue into this. And this has to be closed. So the parachute, like this here. Come here. So this shoulder goes into the nose cone. So the shoulder goes into the nose cone like that. And this way I can have a nice clean interface between the body and the nose cone. So when you put it together, you get a nice clean mate joint there. You don't have any gap. That also means I can attach a shock cord to this and the other part. But the point is I can't have this be open. This has to be closed, because otherwise what will happen is the parachute will get thrust and shoved up inside the nose cone. So if I were to attach this to the rocket, the parachute would get shoved up inside the nose cone and it wouldn't deploy. So this not only gives me a nice clean modular joint, but it also means the parachute can't get shoved up inside the nose cone. So that's why it has to be closed like that. Kiss curl. Actually, I need a... just thought of that. I need a second point to attach the yes. Obviously you're limited to relatively small rockets, since there's not all that much power inside of a CO2 cartridge, but yes, you can do that. I just realized I need a second hole to tie the shock cord to. There we go. So I can put a shock cord through here, and tie it. But yeah, with the exception of my threaded mount here, everything in this rocket is square. I'm happy with that. That came out pretty nice. So I basically print one of everything here, except this one I have to print two. So this is the coupler to join these two together. I can't use a threaded coupler because the threads will change. So even if I spent the hours it would take to get those threads to line up the square bodies, each time you do it, it would change position. So I'm saying screw it, just going to glue it together. So this will glue to this, and then this will glue to this, and then this will glue to this, and that, and slide inside here, and that'll make a square rocket. I'm also going to make a triangle rocket just because. Why not? I think it'd be fun. But yeah, that came out surprisingly nice. I'm pleased with that. Yeah, I'm very pleased with that. Pythagoras. Good idea. Now that's a fantastic name. Done. It's going to be called Pythagoras. Maybe I'll call this one Euclid. Euclidean geometry. That might be good. I like that. Definitely. Matter of fact, I gotta save that. Hang on. Let's see. Take a screenshot. Call the triangle rocket Pythagoras. Download that. That's a great idea, Ben. That's a good name. Definitely that works. Yeah, I might call this one Euclid. Let it be an inside joke. Pythagoras and Euclid. And see, see who gets it. Well, Rocket Geeks will definitely get it. So, should I call this one the Deep Penetrator? I think that's what I'm gonna call it. I think unless someone comes up with a better name, I think I'm gonna call it the Deep Penetrator. Boy, that's a fantastic name, Ben. I love that. I like the idea of using old mathematical. Whoa, that was weird. Why'd that fall? It slid. That's not a good spot for it. But this came out really nice. I'm really pleased with how nicely this turned out. It turned out way better than I thought it would. And this also turned out really nice. This turned out really elegant. I like the way that came out. So I think I'm just about at the point where I can start releasing these designs. Had to map RGB colors in a three-dimensional space. Why would that be non-Euclidean? It's not, though. Cubes are Euclidean. Unless you were making a 3D shadow of a tesseract. If you were trying to simulate a 3D shadow of a tesseract, that would be non-Euclidean. Four-dimensional space. Is that what you were making? Were you making a tesseract? Cool. Oh. So who developed the math cylinders? Didn't work. Every time I try to search for the history of a cylinder, I get the history of the cylinder phonograph. It probably has something to do with Archimedes. A tesseract is what would a cube look like if it was four-dimensional? Oh, that's why Estes called their ship the curvilinear. A cylinder may also be defined as an infinite curvilinear surface. That's why they called it that. Know their history about it, huh? Oh, cool. Tesseract is a math thing, so unrelated to what you did. I got a roll of white PETG so I can print the um, the new Shepherd in the proper white color. I finally found the third fin of the ramjet, so I'm going to get that finished too. I'm pleased with the square rocket. I like that. But I think I'm going to settle on the 60 millimeter tube size because it seems to be the optimal size between being a decent sized rocket without being so big that it takes forever to print and uses a lot of filament. I think that's a good compromise. And all of these should fly on D engines. You know, light ones like this might fly on a C engine. But even this one here, which is pretty heavy, even that should fly on a D12 free without a problem. So we'll see. Um, I also beefed up the motor mount. I beefed up these little tabs to make it easier to turn this in. And that comes out nice and strong now. man. Polycarbonate for 28 bucks. That's a pretty good deal. The problem is you really, really need a 300-degree hot end to properly print polycarbonate. It tends to peel apart if you print it too cold. Where's that? There it is. Let's see, pry line. I don't see the $28 polycarbonate. What is this? What's it made out of? Oh, it is PC. Here's some Polymaker PC for 35 bucks. That's pretty damn cheap for Polymaker. Gizmo Dorks has black polycarbonate for 30 bucks. I don't see any pry line though. That Polymaker might be a 750 gram spool. Yeah, that's 750 grams, and it's 2.85. So do not order that unless you know what you're buying. You don't want that. What? Holy crap! Here's 1.75 kilogram polycarbonate for 23 bucks. That's really cheap. It's a no-name brand, CC3D, white polycarbonate, 1 kilogram, 1.75 millimeter, for 23 freaking dollars. Holy crap! Let me add that to the specialty filament. That's really cheap. Oh, it's a modified. Oh, interesting. It's 50% PC, 45% PETG, and 5% other materials. Well, isn't that interesting? I wonder what the layer bonding is like. Wow. It says it'll print at 255 to 265. You know, you can print 255 with a regular printer, but you're going to cook your PTFE tube. Wow. 23 bucks is pretty damn cheap. Even for a blend, that's pretty cheap. Here's some transparent PC for $25. Oh yeah, duh. That one, that one. There we go. So that is transparent polycarbonate. 25 bucks. That's pretty damn cheap. Let's add that to the exotic filament list. Ooh, color transition TPU. Oh, that's cool. You can always spray it with a UV coating. It should be. They use polycarbonate in eyeglasses. That is rainbow transition TPU. Hell yeah. That's $25 for PC. What does filled mean? I think this is the company that makes the wood filament I got right here. Yeah, I have a roll of their wood filament. I'm adding these to the ABS Petchy Nylon PC list on my Amazon page. Since that is a really good price. Glass fiber ABS, that's interesting. I like Yoyi. I've printed their filament before. Pretty good stuff. Here's that triple color silk. This is one I just got. Got a roll right here. Let's add that to the list. Nago's pretty good too. Their clear Pet G was really nice. Where'd this come from? Oh, this goes to that rocket. Okay. So, yeah, I've kind of hit it pretty hard with the I got 3 machines printing out parts right now for these rockets. Volume is very low. It shouldn't be. The meter is hitting the mid mark, although I could crank that up a little bit. There we go. I'm just hitting the yellow mark. Should bring that closer. That makes it a little bit better. carbon fiber PET. Oh man, I bet you that's a pain in the ass. Yeah, 280 to 320. That's it. I can't think of much else. I would like to try to make a really big version of this. So the little helicopter launcher. Make a really big one. Like, where the helicopter's like 6 feet. The only problem is, how would I pull it hard enough to actually make it fly? And would these materials hold up to that much force? Because that's going to take a lot of force to make something that big fly. Yeah, it would take a ridiculous amount of force to make something like that fly. Hey, I got a Carhartt shirt for $10. I was like, hell yeah, I'll take that. I got the shoes too. So thank you very much for that. What else? I got a whole bunch of these cameras, so that's something I need to work on too, is making designing a rocket around this camera. Because that's going to be an actual a printed rocket, when you'll actually come with a camera. And wait a minute, let's turn that off. There we go. It's not the greatest video quality out of these, but I get them for very, very cheap. And it's got two features I really need: a small form factor, and most important, one button start. You press the button, it just runs. That's it. You don't have to do anything else. No press and hold, no watch for blinks. Just press the button and it starts recording. So I'm going to be designing a rocket around this camera. And haven't figured out exactly how I want to do that yet. Probably going to design it into the nose cone so that I can use any rocket. So design a mount in this nose cone to mount that in there somehow. Probably partially embedded, because only the lens has to stick out for the most part. I could try dismantling this and seeing what it would take to gut it. That is a Phillips screw in there. So 2 Phillips screws allow me to take it apart. And then I could probably cut the weight in half. Where is a little screwdriver? Where is that little set that I just bought? That's saw blades. go to? The hell is this? Oh, this is a selfie stick. Yeah, that's a selfie stick of some sort. I have to find my little micro screwdrivers. See if I could take this apart and if it's usable outside of the shell. And even if it's not usable outside of the shell, I might be able to recreate this shell in 3D printing software and make this part of this. That might actually work. Because while it's small, it's not the most ideal shape. Because at least that much of it's going to be sticking outside of the rocket. Because I have to have the lens sticking out. You don't want to put it in like this because you really want the lens looking down. You want to be able to look down the length of the rocket and see the rocket. That's kind of what makes it fun. Because I could make a triple tube arrangement, and then, so for example, instead of having one hole, I could have 3 holes, and then this could just sit inside of the center hole, and then or on one of the side holes, and then the engine would be here. But then you'd see straight down. But a lot of the times, part of the fun of a rocket video is seeing the rocket. If you don't see the rocket in a video, it's just a video of something going straight up. So, but the nice thing about designing it into the nose cone is then you could now put this camera rocket on any of my 60mm rockets. And scaling it would be pretty easy because I would only have to make the nose cone. I wouldn't have to make the entire rocket. And then you could just mount it to whatever rocket you want. Now in that situation, you're going to want the you're probably going to want the camera to come down separate from the rocket so that you could put a rig to stabilize the video. Oh man, now the idea juices are flowing. Now I need to dismantle one of these. I have about a dozen of these now, and so I can make a dozen kits. Now I'm going to have to dismantle one of these and see how far I can, how far I could take it apart. Interesting. Very, very interesting. I don't have a screwdriver. I need an itty bitty little screwdriver to take that apart. Yes, but that creates its own problems. So you're thinking do something like this, like the new Glenn does it, where the cone is bigger than the rocket, and so the camera could be here looking down. Yes, I could do that. And but from a mechanical aerodynamic point of view, it makes more sense just to strap the camera onto the side. So basically, think of it like this. Okay, except there's going to be a cavity in here, and that cavity will accept the camera. So the camera will be partway into the rocket, it'll be about that much inside. That's just enough for the lens to stick out right there like that. So about that much of the camera will be sticking out of the rocket, and so of course there will be a shroud around this to make it aerodynamic, and I'll probably have a second bulge over here to make it even aerodynamically. But if I dismantle this camera, it might be even more compact inside. What I would especially love is if that camera is on a ribbon cable. If that camera is on a ribbon cable, then I could have this entire camera inside and only a little tiny bulge sticking out for the camera. But most likely there's a circular circuit board in here and the camera is on that circuit board. It's very unlikely that that camera is on a ribbon cable. But the idea would be you'd have a nose cone, you'd stick the camera in here, it'd fit into a socket that would hold it in place, and then when you screwed this on, that would lock the camera in place, so now it can't move, it can't do anything. You'd have an exposed button, you'd tap the button and just stick the nose cone on the rocket. Now the nose cone would need its own rigging, so I would need an attachment point for a shock cord up here and down here. The idea being that you want to dangle the camera from two sets of two parachutes. If you just had it on one parachute, you're going to get vomit comet video, because this nose cone is going to be spinning and twisting and tumbling, and that's what your video is going to be. But if I hang the nose cone from two parachutes, that'll stabilize the nose cone. To show you what I mean, here we go. Here is my level 2 flight at Narum. I don't know if you saw that. There was actually two parachutes on this rocket. I have this parachute attached to the tail of the rocket, and then I have another parachute attached to the nose of the rocket, and that causes the parachute to come down in a stabilized manner. Hang on, I got a scratch. Oh my god, I got a scratch bad. What the hell? That was either a crazy itch or something was biting me. Let's see if I can show you, find a point where you can see it. There's the one parachute. So this parachute is attached to the rear of the rocket, and a pink parachute is attached to the nose of the rocket. I could probably show you that from the ground. I should have a ground flight of that as well. Yeah.
I'm ready. Going at 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 2, 1, launch. Oh, yeah, baby! Wow! That's more than 5 seconds. Perfect! Oh, yeah!
Okay. There. Pause, goddammit. Why would you wait 5 seconds to pause? So as you can see here, I have two parachutes. I have the big parachute up front and a slightly smaller parachute in the back. This way it comes down under in this cradle configuration that you see here. And that cradle configuration is important because that's what gives you the stable recovery video that you see. If you were to just put the rocket underneath the parachute, you'd get a really crappy video. That's why I get such nice videos from my rockets. And I also, what was his name? I forget his name, but somebody else flew my glider for me, and we actually caught the flight from the glider. You can just barely see it. Yeah, there we go. That was the rocket taking off right there. And there it is coming down in the parachute. I love the fact that the only bush or tree in the entire field, and it cushioned my rocket for a nice soft landing. Literally, that's the only scrub within 100 feet of that rocket, and it just plopped itself right inside of that. It was so wonderful to see that land like that. um, that was fun though. That was good. But I still have that rocket. It's out in the container. Contrary to what you might think, these are 55-inch parachutes. Those are really big parachutes. They're 5-foot parachutes, and this rocket is about 10 feet long, maybe a little longer. And that nose cone right there, you actually can't see it. That nose cone right there is what convinced me to get into 3D printing. This rocket right here is what got me into 3D printing, because that nose cone cost me $50, and I was like, never again am I paying $50 for a nose cone. And of course, just because it's so good, here's that 600 frame per second flight of the ICBM taking off. Boom, gone. Let's watch that again. That's just so good. Gone. That rocket motor skedaddled. And here you're going to see it spin at 600 frames per second. That's the nose cone falling at 32 feet per second. And there's that rocket going, woo! That was a cool flight. Well, cool non-flight. Oh, man. Ah. Well, what are you going to do? So I built that rocket, and that is what got me wanting to get into 3D printing. Who's Harry? Who's Harry? Prince Harry? He's an American? How could he be an American? He can't be an American. I would think he wouldn't be eligible to be a prince if he was an American. Unreasonable force. I love Big Clive. I like watching his videos. AVE, Big Clive, Great Scott. He's another good one. If you haven't watched Great Scott's videos, RC Test Flight, another great video. Meghan Markle. Meghan Markle. There's Meghan Markle. That's the Kardashians. It's amazing. I've never ever seen an episode of the Kardashians, but we all know who they are. That's funny. Maybe I'll watch. Maybe this weekend I'll finally get around to watching it. I'll have to see if I have a copy on my local hard drive. I know I have one on one of my arrays, but I haven't plugged in my arrays. Um, the My favorite CD is the Last of the Mohicans soundtrack, and I still have never seen the movie. I think I bought that CD like 11 times before I finally got maybe not 11 times, but several times I bought that CD because I destroyed it. Before we were able to make copies and MP3s and stuff like that. Um, but by far my favorite CD ever. If I had to pick one CD, that would be it. And I've never seen the movie. The Last of the Mohicans. Is it even still available? Probably. Yep. $11. That's actually pretty cheap. Used for $6. Except they usually, oh, it's even free shipping. Now, another soundtrack that is very good, actually original score, not soundtrack. Um, uh, what's it called? Fern Gully. If now that one's hard to find, it sells for a small fortune. You're better off finding a torrent to download the MP3s because you're never going to find a original copy. The Fern Gully original score. That's also a fantastic CD. If you have a really nice set of headphones or a really nice sound system, these are two CDs that are very, very good to showcase um, sound from that. Especially that first track with the raindrops in the rainforest for Fern Gully. Really sound. If you have good headphones or a good sound system, it just sounds amazing. But finding that is almost impossible. It's I think it's the original score. Yeah. There's a CD available on Amazon for $103. Here's a used one for $75. Yeah, it sells for a lot. The It's less than it was though. At one point, it was selling for a couple $100. Yeah, about $100 on eBay. Although I see a couple copies as low as $50, $55. Wow, you can still get it on audio cassette. That's only $22. But not the soundtrack. The soundtrack is different. You want the original score if you can find it. And but yeah, for whatever reason, that was real tough to find. Oh, you're the I want to burn your fingers with the resin. The skin grafts are working. Do you still have any pain, or is that better? What is this on Thingiverse? We have Star Wars cookie cutter set. Oh hell yeah! Oh, wow, they're nicely done, too. Yep, we're going to grab that. Wow, some nice details. 30 pounds, so about $40. That's a pretty good price. That's actually a really good price. Hey, if anybody ever finds a copy of Ferngully, the original score, at like a yard sale or a thrift store or something like that, grab it for me. I'll pay the shipping. I would like to have an original of that. I have an original somewhere, but probably in a dumpster in Pennsylvania now. If I didn't find it before I left, I'll probably never find it. But I would love to have an original copy of that again. But I'm not paying $50 for it. I ain't got that kind of money. But yeah, these are nicely detailed. There's tons of cookie cutters, but these have the Star Wars set, and these have some really nice details. The lens is a ribbon cable. That's good. If it's a ribbon cable, I can make it really compact. Oh, there's no think. I've already got like a dozen of them. I'm definitely making a kit around this. It's not the greatest quality video. Um, Here's some Paw Patrol. Here's some Pokemon. Why does it say Luca? Hey, Mike, how are you doing today? Today we are doing tons and tons of rockets. Nice rockets, too. With some nice atomic filament, PETG. See, that's one thing I love about atomic filament. They make good quality filament. It's American-made filament, and they're one of the very few filament makers who do their exotic colors in both PLA and PETG. So this is their Rose Metallic Mist in PETG, and their Blood Diamond Red in PETG. So they do it in the the performance plastics that we can use outdoors. So what does Luca mean? Luca. Hmm. It's just showing me this guy. How about Luca Pokemon? Damn it. Luca is a recurring character in Pokemon's anime. So this person's Luca. Okay. Search. Ow. Really? They've cracked down on. Ouch. $200. That's a little expensive. It's okay if it's short as long as I can bend it 90 degrees. As long as I can rotate that lens module 90 degrees, that's all I need. Because that'll be enough to keep the camera inside the rocket and just the lens sticking out of the rocket. Although it depends on the orientation, but even that I can work around. Damn, that's expensive. Any other good sets of cookie cutters? Actually, I could do a search for that. Cookie cutters with an S that might find sets. I have the Jets ones, but there's no details in them. What I want is these highly detailed ones. Those look pretty nice. Really? Well, I guess that kind of makes sense in a country like the UK where you don't have a lot of space. Well, the only reason we are separate here is that okay, the United States has essentially banned hobby model aviation. It's basically banned. Sure, you can still fly them temporarily for now, but they've designed the rules in such a way that the next generation, they won't be able to fly RC airplanes. Rocketry so far is protected because it's already covered under separate federal regulations, FAR 101. So because of that, we're excluded from the drone regulations. For now. Oh, there you go. Some basic dinosaur shapes. Like, here's a whole Star Trek set, but it doesn't have all the details. It's just basically outlines. Michelle! They're hungry! The poor kitties are starving. No, he's been back there quite a bit. Probably, ooh, nice. That's a nice set. I know. You're hungry, I know, baby. I know. She's starving you to death. Yeah, she is. Yeah. You want to say hi? Huh? Come here. Hey. Hey, baby. Hi. Come here. There you go. Chill here for a minute so they can see you. Yeah. Yeah, there you are on the screen. See that? You good boy. He's a very handsome kitty. Yeah. You want to get down? Okay. Don't claw me. Hey, I got one of my new razors in. And it doesn't hurt. It doesn't cause all the red. Look at this. You can get that on AliExpress for like $8, $8 to $10. But it's a super tiny little booger with a full-size cutting blade. Looks like it's a nice strong attachment. I have to take it apart and see what it looks like inside. And USB-C charging. But they didn't bother to put the resistor in there, so it won't charge on a USB-C PD charger. So if I plug it into this charger, it doesn't do anything. So you have to plug it into a dumb charger with a dumb cable. It might work on this cable here. Yeah. So it works on that one. But it won't work on a PD charger. It's got to be a regular USB-C cable. It's because they didn't put the resistor in there to tell the charger, hey, I'm just 5 volts. Since the charger doesn't know, it doesn't charge. And but I love how super compact it is, how tiny it is. It's got to be, well, it's that big.
So how big is that? About the same height as that. And I think that's 100. It's like 4 inches. So really small, really compact. The only bad part is there's nothing to stop you from turning it on by squeezing it. So I'm gonna have to design a sleeve for it, so that button can't be pressed when it's in your bag. And but yeah, I like that they have it in green and red. USB-C and cheap. So I'll definitely be playing with that. I'm hoping it's serviceable. I'm hoping there's a way I could buy extra of the blades and then just store them. I really wish a manufacturer would make one of these. This one has screws. So it'd be interesting to see what kind of battery's in there. But it would be nice if they started making these things serviceable. Like use a standard 18650 cell. You know, even if I have to unscrew it, make it so I can just pop that cell out and put a new cell in. Probably. I don't know. I've never seen one like this. If it is, it's a downscale. It's like a micro version. It looks like a barber clippers. It looks like the big clippers that barbers use when they're trimming you, except it's tiny. So if you scaled it up about 3 times, it'd be about what a barber clipper looks like. But I love how tiny it is. I got a slightly nicer one coming in too, a little bit bigger, because I wasn't sure how good that one would be. So, plus now that I see how painful that one is, ooh, because this one still hurts like hell. This one here. So I'll be getting rid of this because it just tears my face apart. It hurts. So something is not aligned right. I don't know, but I want to get rid of this. But that one's also USB-C. Does that one PD charge? Nope. They're not adhering to the USB-C protocol. They're just putting a USB-C port on there and then just wiring it up. And the problem with that is that USB-C PD chargers won't charge dumb devices. Because the USB-C PD has different voltages. 5 volts, 9 volts, 12 volts, 15 volts, and 20 volts are all under the USB-C PD spec. And so when you plug it in, your device has to have the circuitry inside to communicate with the charger and tell it, I'm this specification, give me this amount of power. And basically all they have to do is put a resistor across 2 of the contacts to tell it, I'm classic USB-C. You know, just give me a dumb 5 volt output. And because they don't put that resistor in there, when you plug a PD charger into these, it does nothing. But when you plug a dumb charger into it, then it starts charging. You see the red light there. Did I download that? Probably. Yeah. Aw, dragon cookie cutters. That looks like a lot of work to make those cookies. For those who don't see it. That looks like a decent amount of work, but a very pretty result. Oh, did I miss one? Oh, cool. Yeah, I saw those. Lego minifigs. Here's some Christmas ones. Kitty cats. What I'm looking for is detailed ones. You know, sets. Here we go. My Little Pony. Oh, I'm going to use the whole thing. I'm just going to get rid of the shell, and I'm going to design my own shell, you know, around the 3D printing. Oh, those look nice. Oh, those look nice too. Can I just drag and drop this? Oh, no, I didn't want to do that. How do I go back? Is there no way to go back? Is there a keyboard command for going backwards? Alt left arrow. Alt left arrow. There we go. Oh, wow. Good for you, man. I guess I should try selling some of my PLA. See if I can sell it for enough to, you know, buy some newer PETG colors and stuff. Because I probably still have 500 or 600 rolls of filament. Not bad. Especially if they're full rolls. Hell yeah. Even 15 rolls would be 150 at $10 a roll. So yeah, good deal. Ooh, I like those. Ah, Tetris. By the way, to find these, just type cookie cutters on Thingiverse. Let's fix this. Plus video capture device. Add existing cybercam. Seriously? Come on. I can zoom, right? There should be a way for me to zoom. Crop. Oh, so slow. Right. 500. Right. 800. Left. 200. 300. Top. 300. Bottom. 200. 100. There we go. Eh. Then I could just tweak the position. There we go. Kitty cats. You can never have too many kitty cats. Gimme. Ow, 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 ow. Christmas. Feed the kitties! Let's see if they. Oh, let's see any printables. Ooh, there's some nice complex ones. Ooh, I don't know. I don't know what you can do if they stop sticking. I mean, I would think you could put some adhesive in there, but it's going to cause it to bulge a little bit. Is that some frozen? Yeah, I think that's frozen. Oh, wow, that's a nice reindeer. There's some nice Easter ones. There's some nice heart. Oh, here's a cookie cutter set. I don't want to see collections. I just want to see models. Thank you. Oh, cute little hedgehog. Gecko. All I did was search cookie cutters with an S, and that brought up, sets mostly. Although I think the printable site does a different kind of search. Here's some pretty ones. Oh yeah. So it looks like this guy has got the nice ones. EVAX Design. EVAX Design. He's got some nice ones. Here's a little Pusheen. Okay. Anything else good? Hey, the leaves are kind of cool. Oh, there's another one. I think I'm going to do a whole episode on just cookie cutters. I think I'm gonna cook up a whole bunch of cookies and print out a whole bunch of cookie cutters. Just why not? Let's grab the leaves. They have one of those. CookieCAD is a program where you can do exactly that. It'll make a cookie cutter out of whatever model you upload. You know, a picture, silhouette. It's called CookieCAD. But send me a link to his website. Send me a link. Or post a link. That's enough for now. Those Star Wars ones are going to be nice, though. I like that. I like that it has all the details. This will be my next print once I'm done printing all of these parts. I'll probably do this one in the wood. That would be a good thing to use the wood filament for, because it kind of has a cardboard-like smell and texture to it. Yeah, I'm gonna do the wood PLA for the B square. Alrighty, guys. I guess that's it. I'll continue printing these. I'm hopefully gonna release these files for sale soon, and see if anybody's willing to buy them. I'm trying to figure out what price to sell them at. I'm figuring sell them for half what a similar kit would cost. since you'll be able to make actual functional rockets out of these. And you'll be able to make as many as you want. So I'm going to do some research on what 2.5-inch kits are selling for, and then sell them for like a third or a half of whatever they're selling for. And I think that'd be a good starting point. And oh, PayPal. Why didn't it notify me? We'll load that site. Let's take this off. No, we want that on, this on, that off. ASA is similar to printing ABS. It's a little bit less of a pain in the ass than ABS. It's in the middle there. It doesn't warp quite as bad as ABS, but it still warps worse than PLA and PETG. The one downside though is that it's susceptible to delamination if you don't print it hot enough. The parts become crunchy and brittle if you don't print them hot enough. So make sure you print hot enough. Why is this like this? Oh, because I need to create the camera twice. I applied the filter, so it's applying the filter to all of them universally. What a pain in the ass. That's a pain in the ass. Okay, I'll have to fix that afterwards, so you guys get to see me floating in a black window. Continue on web. Colin, $22. You rock, dude. Thank you very much.
Here.
The other nice thing about PayPal is I can transfer the money immediately. I don't have to wait for 2 months for Google to give it to me. Oh, that reminds me. I got to pay myself a super chat to clear out my...
Here, you want this?
Yeah, hang on, Michelle. Hang on.
Oh, I gotta go feed them.
Hang on.
Hi, guys.
And that money will be in my bank account tomorrow, which is awesome. But also, I have my Google rewards, which I've got to give myself. I got $12.11 on Google rewards. Yeah, go ahead and update. Now, how do I do it? I think I have to do it in the YouTube app.
Hi, baby.
I can just do it right here. I can just give myself a super chat. How do I do that? Engage. That's a poll. No, I have to do it as a viewer, I think. I can't do it from this. Live streaming. How do I see my own stream? Oh, here it is, right here. Super chat. $12.11. Google Play balance, yes. I lose 30% of it, but hey, it's better than none. So what's that would mean? I'll get $9 of that. Yeah, about $9.50 or $9, something like that. But that's one way of, is the only way, as far as I know. If you're not going to spend the money in games or buying apps on Google Rewards, this is the only way to get it out as cash. Is you got to give yourself a super chat with a stream. That's the same thing as buying content.
Here.
But that's the only. This is the only way I know of to extract the money from Google Rewards as cash. You have to do it as you have to pay yourself a super chat in a stream. Michelle, you need to wait a moment.
I'll put it there then.
Why do you do that, Michelle?
Hurry, because I have to go.
I know, but you gotta be patient.
I said I was sorry.
You don't have to be sorry. Just be patient. That's all. Or I'll have to bite you, and I'll have to videotape it, put it on YouTube. The bloodier probably the bloodier it is, the more views I'll get. What do you guys think? Alrighty. I will see you guys next week. I'm hoping to hook up with the local rocket club, because I do have sub D engines, so I can fly these smaller ones, and it won't cost me any money. Since I already have the motors, assuming they don't blow up. So I hope to fly some of these in the next month or so. Maybe I'll fly some at Narum at the end of July. I'm going to try to print out a couple of more of them, of each one, and give them away in exchange for a flight. So basically, I will give you this rocket kit for free, but you have to fly it before the end of this event. And this way I can get some pictures of these things flying. And go from there. So that's it. I will see you guys. I'm yawning like crazy. I can't stop yawning. I will see you guys next week. Thank you so much. You guys have a great weekend. And so far, I mean, we've been getting pretty cool weather. It's been an unusually cool year, which is fantastic, because we're in June, and I hardly have to use the air conditioner. I have to turn it on for like an hour or two a day, in the late evening when it starts to get a little hot, when the house starts to radiate heat back inside the house. An hour or two I have to turn it on, but otherwise I've been so far able to not have to use the air conditioner, which is going to save me a fortune. So that's it. I will see you guys later. I'm going to get some produce.